Arvin's body gradually began to fade, his face twisted with unwillingness as he clenched his teeth. The next instant, a sharp-clawed hand suddenly pierced through his dissolving face. From within Arvin's body, another fallen angel tore its way out. This fallen angel's body was thin and hunched, its entire form covered in crude stitch marks, bearing a striking resemblance to Iwayer. He was Sarif, a transcendent being at rank 6. Seeing this, Iwayer's eyes widened in shock. This one isn't the 16-winged Holy Imperial weapon. No sooner had her words left her mouth than a spatial crack suddenly appeared behind her. Sensing danger, she quickly turned around. Sarif ripped open the void, emerging right beside her, his presence instantly putting her on full alert. Meanwhile, Arvin reappeared elsewhere, his body fully restored, untouched by the corrosive poison gas. He curved his lips into a chilling smile. Ha ha! Lounging casually on a swing, swaying as though he had never participated in the brutal battle just moments ago, Arvin sneered. Did she really think that mere poison could defeat me? His face turned dark and sinister. Her master's poison is strong, true, but it's nothing to me. Go, Sarif. Seek out her master, and have some fun. Sarif immediately responded, as you command. With that, under Arvin's gaze, he shot off at blinding speed, leaving the battlefield and streaking toward the distance. Sarif flew straight ahead, aiming for the massive spatial rift hanging in the sky. Within the void passage, he moved like lightning, and in mere moments he reached the exit. On the other battlefield, Yuziu and his vast army of void creatures had just poured out of the passage, surrounding the newly arrived high-ranking angels and their beast legion. At that exact moment, Yuziu suddenly sensed imminent danger. Narrowing his eyes, he turned toward it. Sarif burst forth, opening his mouth with a chilling cry. Crack! The next instant, he moved at a speed beyond belief, transforming into a crimson streak that slammed directly into Yuziu's massive body. The blow sent Yuziu vomiting blood, his eyes wide with disbelief. His towering form collapsed, crashing heavily into the ground and sending thick clouds of dust surging skyward. You are. The high-ranking angel gasped, staring at Sarif in astonishment. Sarif. Sarif's eyes glowed blood-red, his face like that of a titan about to unleash destruction. Overflowing with battle intent, he locked his gaze on Yuziu. Suddenly, countless cracks spread across the surrounding space, an overwhelming power blanketing the sky. The high-ranking angel looked at Sarif's blazing figure and thought, it seems Sarif has inherited the power of the 16-winged Holy Imperial weapon. From within the dust and rubble, Yuziu rose once more. Fixing his gaze on Sarif standing before him, Yuziu narrowed his eyes, his vigilance intensifying. That speed. Even I couldn't follow it clearly. Another rank 6. The next instant Yuziu suddenly struck, his enormous hand reaching to seize Sarif before him. His colossal palms slammed down, shattering the earth and filling the battlefield with smoke and flying debris. Sarif sneered, his voice dripping with mockery. It's useless. He shot upward from the ground, then streaked toward Yuziu with explosive force. Once again, he smashed his fist into Yuziu's face, unleashing a surge of pitch-black spiritual energy that rocked Yuziu's body. Yuziu was blasted away, his body plowing through mountain ranges and leveling them as thunderous shockwaves echoed across the battlefield. Over on the other side, Iwayer was just coughing up a few mouthfuls of blood. Cough, cough. Sarif flew straight up from below. Yuziu's huge, slow-moving body had now become a major disadvantage against Sarif. He writhed in the cloud of white dust and couldn't get back to his feet. Iwayer frowned, her whole body struggling to gasp for breath. Seeing Yuziu's body torn apart by Sarif, Iwayer couldn't help but grow more anxious. Master, are you all right? She called out loudly. That one has inherited the power of the 16-winged Holy Imperial weapon. Be careful, Master. The high-ranking angel watching the battle also understood now. No wonder, he had sensed an extraordinary power. There was no doubt Sarif carried the might of the 16-winged Holy Imperial weapon. As the dust began to clear, Yuziu's eyes flashed with murderous intent. Sarif stood opposite him, his eyes glinting red, A cold, unnatural smile curled across his face. At that moment, Arvin was also watching the fight through Sarif's eyes. Yuziu narrowed his eyes and suddenly spoke. "You're watching me, aren't you? The true form of the 16-winged holy imperial weapon." Hearing this, Arvin immediately went pale. He could hear the rest of Yuziu's words. "You're enjoying this fight with me, aren't you?" No sooner had the words fallen than Sarif, standing opposite Yuziu, lost his temper. A terrifying surge of spiritual power erupted from him as he roared, "Cut the chatter!" Immediately, countless spheres of spiritual energy launched and hurtled toward where Yuziu stood. A massive explosion rang out where Yuziu stood. A towering column of dust shot up into the sky. Nearby mountains were flattened by that devastating spiritual force, and the trees and earth around could not withstand the power and were blown away. Beneath the choking smoke, a long furrow gradually became visible. Sarif had just struck and his expression was grim as a cold smile crossed his face. He suddenly folded his wings together. In the next instant, a whirlwind formed around Yuziu's large frame. The vortex tightened and then sliced through his body. Yuziu was drenched in blood, throwing his head back as he howled in pain. Seeing the whirlwinds tearing at Yuziu and the blood starting to circle him, Awayer cried out in alarm, "Master!" Badly wounded by the vortex, Yuziu opened his mouth and declared, "Powerful! Haven't met such a strong opponent in a long time. Truly worthy of the 16-winged holy imperial weapon." "Ha ha!" Arvin clenched his jaw and watched the battle with a solemn expression. Yuziu suddenly narrowed his eyes, they curved like crescent moons and his face showed no hint of strain as he said, "The stronger you are, the more I want to possess you." Hearing this, Arvin couldn't help feeling wary. He could still laugh, and it made Arvin uneasy. As if responding to Arvin's feelings, Sarif suddenly shouted, "I will tear you apart into 1,000 pieces." At that, the vortex tightened even more furiously, as if it intended to shred Yuziu's body into ashes.